What's going on, everybody? Mike McIntyre here, back with a brand new video, and I know it's been a while since my last boot review, but it seems like in 2022 boots are being announced, but then they take a while to actually get released. So today I'm finally able to bring you a boot review of the brand new Adidas Predator Adidas Predator Edge.1 in the Showdown pack collection colorway. Now these were actually announced in late May, but like I said, they only became available almost a month later here, and after shipping and all these sort of production delays that we're seeing, it's been a while, but I finally have the review. So let's get into this brand new unboxing and review. Alright guys, Mike McIntyre, all things sports. Thank you for stopping by as always. I have the box here, but before we begin, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. You have 3 things to do. Get those taken care of, and let's get into this brand new unboxing. So, Predator Edge.1 Showdown Pack Collection colorway. There they are. And honestly, the first time I saw these in the press release, I wasn't a huge fan, but seeing them in person, they look so much better in person than they did in the press release photo. So I actually like them a lot more than I thought I would compared to the first time I saw the press release photo. So here we go, the Adidas Predator Edge. It's not my first review of the Adidas Predator Edge. I have seen them before, and this is a brand new colorway. So obviously we have a white base with red accents and little hits of gold here. And obviously the tongue material is in black. Overall, I think they look really, really sharp. Classic white and red colorway. These would look really, really good with a Man United kit, in my opinion. And yeah, honestly, just of the colorway, I actually think they're quite good looking and way better looking than I thought they were in the press release photo. So we'll talk about the upper, we'll talk about all the sort of tech specs, slip them on feet, talk about fit and feel, and that will be today's video. So starting with the upper, the Predator Edge is new for this year. Obviously, they've reshaped the boot. It's a different sort of wider platform compared to last year's model. We see plenty of elements, obviously an extreme amount of grip on the upper, and it's kind of similar to the Lethal Zones that we saw almost a decade ago. And overall, I like the idea of the boot. I'm a huge fan that it got a little bit wider. I personally like some of the grippy elements that you get on the upper of a Predator. I've always been a fan of this silo. It's just that the upper this time around is extremely stiff. I've reviewed all 3 top tier versions of the Predator, the laceless model, the 0.1, and the 0.1 low. And this is the first time I've ever said that I actually think the 0.1, this one, is probably the version to go with. The low version is very similar, but the way they cut the collar out is a little bit strange, and this collar feels extremely natural. So it's probably one of the only times I'll say get the collared version, but the reality is it's not that much higher. You'll barely notice a difference unless you have the 2 boots in person right next to each other. And because the collar fits so naturally on this one, it's not even high cut anymore. The old school ones were old school. The high cut boots that were out a couple years ago were like this high, right? This is just kind of extra material that you have around here, and it creates a very natural opening. So I even struggle saying that it's high cut because it's not. It's just a little bit taller, maybe like a centimeter taller than the low cut version, and it fits a little bit more naturally, in my opinion, in this collared area compared to the low version. The Plus model is extremely stiff because they're trying to build in that support system without having laces, obviously. So the upper is already stiff, and then on the Plus model, they have to go and provide you all of that extra reinforcement so that your boot has enough lockdown. So it's extremely stiff, and it's somewhat uncomfortable, if I'm honest, on the Plus model. So the 0.1 in the Predator Edge is probably the model to go for, and I've said that in all my other videos. Because of all these grippy elements on them, they do take a little bit of time to break in, and again, the upper is just naturally holding its shape far more than we've seen in the past Predators of the last couple of years. So because of that, you do get a much more, I mean, the boot has a good shape. When you look at it, it keeps its shape really, really nicely. And I mean, part of the reason it's doing that is because the upper has enough stiffness to it in order to keep that shape. So when slipping them on, they may feel a little uncomfortable at first. They will soften up over time, but just understand that this upper is not as naturally flexible or as soft as we've seen on previous Predators. So that is something that I think they got wrong on this boot. Talking about the sole plate now, this isn't really new. We still have this sort of face frame, or they're calling facet frame, I think they're branding it as, for the Predator. It's basically a speed frame, it's basically a control frame, whatever you want to call it. Adidas has had this sort of model for the last few years, but they do split it in the midfoot area. So you do have 2 separate pieces. You have the heel area and the forefoot area. The shape of the studs are triangular, but they're a little bit rough around the edges, if you will. You do have a longer side, providing you a little bit more grip, but overall they are better than the weird teardrop shaped studs we've seen on the past models. So overall the studs are a decent shape. Again, just go conical and you solve all problems, and they'd be good on all kinds of surfaces, and that is pretty much it. So let's send it over the turf to talk about fit and feel, and then we'll wrap it up here at the desk. Alright guys, so slipping the Predator Edge.1 on feet. Again, this is the version to go for in my opinion. I have tried all three of the top tier models in the Predator Edge. The Plus is extremely stiff to the point where it's almost unwearable. The low version is very, very similar to this one, and I just think because they got the collar so good on this model, it's not even high anymore. I just think that this one fits really, really naturally, and it hugs your foot really well. So in my opinion, the 0.1 is the version to go for if you're interested in the Predator Edge. I do like the fact that they fit wider. You do feel a little bit more forgiveness in the midfoot, and especially in the forefoot area. So for wide feet, somebody like me, I definitely prefer the fit of the Predator Edge thanks to that sort of wider platform compared to last year's Freak. So I definitely appreciate that. The boot does feel good on feet overall. Again, you just notice that stiffness. You can't get away from it. From right out of the box, these are stiff, and given how soft boots have become over the last decade or so with these knits and synthetics and these hybrid leather materials, we're not used to having break-in periods on football boots anymore. And this is one that will definitely require a little bit of break-in time. So just understand that. In terms of fit and feel, they are definitely a true to size offering. Adidas are always bang on with their sizing. There's never a doubt with that. They're very, very consistent with size. Wide feet, they are wider than last year's model, so that is a good thing for wide feet. That's pretty much it. I don't think I need to talk about anything else. Let's send it back to the desk and we'll wrap the video up. So guys, there you have it, the Predator Edge 0.1 in this Showdown pack collection colorway. Adidas is probably going to announce the new season pack of boots in the next few days. Before we know it, we're into mid-July, so we're going to have these new boots coming out soon, but this one is a really good looking boot. I'm a huge fan of the way this one looks. Mike McIntyre, all things sports. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. You know the drill, and I'm signing off for now. Catch you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.